Alright guys, um, welcome back. This is lesson 2 in unit 7 and we're on substitution. So you're going to have to follow along with me. Keep up, catch up, all of those things. Alright? So for this particular lesson, we are doing something called substitution. So if you don't remember from unit 1, I think it was lesson 2. Substitution, you're just replacing something. So let's say if I have x plus 2, and I know that x equals 3. So I'm going to replace the x with 3. And 3 plus 2 equals 5. So substituting, we're replacing a variable. So here, we're replacing a variable with an expression. So in order to use substitution, one of the equations must have a variable by itself. And you will replace the variable in the second equation and solve for the other variable. So if you've done this in class with me already, you're like smooth sailing. You're just doing a review, which is what you should be doing, which is where you should be at. So the first thing we did, we went through the steps. So we went through steps and we did the problem. Okay, so we're going to slide down a bit and make sure we can see our equations, our system below, and see our steps. So first step, we're looking at this system here. Label the equations number 1 and number 2. So here's equation number 1, here's equation number 2. Second step, identify an equation with the variable by itself. If there is no equation, use equation number 1 and solve for a variable. So my equation with the variable by itself, I have y by itself. I have y equals 9 minus 2x. So I'm going to circle this. I'm going to circle this, and I'm going to rewrite my other equation. I have 3y minus 2x's equals 11. So I'm going to put that 9 minus 2x, I'm going to replace that y variable with what y equals, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do is just come over here, rewrite, and go through the steps. Okay? So I have what y equals, and I'm replacing this y, so it's going to have 3 parentheses minus 2x equals 11, and inside I'm going to write 9 minus 2x, right? And then I'm going to distribute, so I have 3 times 9 plus 3 times negative 2x's minus 2x's equals 11. Simplifying, I get 27 minus 6x's minus 2x's equals 11. Now I do have to combine like terms. Here are my like terms. Negative 8x, and then everything else just falls down. Okay? Then I subtract 27 on both sides, right? I get negative 8x equals negative 16. Divide both sides by negative 8, and x equals positive 2. So there's part of my answer. Now I need the other part. I need what y equals. Well, y equals 9 minus 2x. And I know that x equals 2. So I'm going to substitute 9 minus 2, parentheses 2, equals 9 minus 4, which equals 5. So the appropriate answer here, from writing this appropriately, my intersection is, this is my answer. We're going to use the x and y mapping because we need to make sure we put our x's in the appropriate places. So x goes first, and 2 comma 5. My intersection is 2 comma 5. This is the appropriate way to write your answer. Now we do want to go back and check our work, right? We do want to go back and check our work. And who says we don't? Well, well, that's the difference between an A and the difference between a high F. So we want to check the work. Not implying that you'll get a high F if you don't check it, but come on, check the work. So we do that by rewriting our equations, right? And to check to see if they're true. We did this in lesson 1. So here's my two equations. Right? And I'm just going to substitute these numbers back inside. So y equals 9 minus 2x, so y is 5. Does 5 equal 9 minus 2 times 2? And 5 equals 5, so that checks out. So we get a check over here. So this solution is so good so far. And then 3 times 5 minus 2 times 2, does this equal 11? 11 does equal 11, so this side checks out. So this solution is great. Now, number two. Same method. We're going to number our equations, number 1, number 2. Now, I know that x is by itself, and x equals y plus 4. That means I'm substituting this into the second equation, 2x minus 5y equals 8. So I'm going to plug this in and then solve for y. So I have 2 parentheses, y plus 4 minus 5y equals 8. I have 2y plus 8. I distributed, if you got caught off guard there, minus 5y's equals 8. 2y's minus 5y's is negative 3y's. Plus 8 equals 8. So I got rid of that first. I want to get the y by itself, so I subtract 8 on both sides. I get negative 3y's equals 0. Divide both sides by negative 3. And y equals 0. On the other hand, now I have y, I need x, so x equals y plus 4, x equals 0 plus 4, or just 4. So my intersection is x comma y mapping onto 4, 0. Okay, that is your answer. Next one, I put my equations 1 and 2. I noticed that there is no variable by itself. Pick the easiest one, equation number 2, and solve for x. So x plus 2y equals 13. Subtract 2y's on both sides. I get x equals 13 minus 2y's. So now I'm at a place, I'm at an impasse, where I'm going to plug that expression into 7x minus 3y equals 23. 7 times x minus 3y equals 23. So 7 parentheses 13 minus 2y's, and then everything else just comes down. Negative 3y equals 23. Then I have to distribute. 7 times 13 is 91. Positive 7 times negative 2y's is negative 14y's. Minus 3y's equals 23. And then I have 91 minus 17y's equals 23. Subtract 91 on both sides. I get negative 17y's equals negative 68. Divide both sides by negative 17. And y equals negative 4. So there's my y. Now I need x. So I know that x equals 13 minus 2y's, right? This equals 13 minus 2 times negative 4, or equals 13 plus 8. This equals 21. And I just want to make sure that that's a negative 4, and it's not. It's a positive 4. It's a positive 4. So you see, I checked my answer a little bit because I saw a mistake there. So 13 minus 8 equals 5. So the answer here, we're going to use the word solution. My solution, intersection and solution are interchangeable, is 5 comma negative 4. My solution is 5 comma negative 4. And we do like the mapping. I do love the mapping because it makes sure I get my x and y in the same place. Okay? So I hope that if you didn't get it, I had 3 types of problems there. One where we had y by itself, one where we had x by itself, and one where there was no variable by itself. So the next part, we're going to be doing word problems. So we're creating systems. We're creating systems. I'm not asking you to solve them. I'm asking you to do the word problem. So it says 4 sweaters. So 4 sweaters. So we're going to describe sweaters. We're going to call sweaters that equals x. We're going to call shirts. Shirts are going to be y's. Okay, so 4 x's and means plus 3 y's cost means 2 equals, so $200. The price of a sweater x is equal to, this is a negative 5. Remember, 5 less than, or less than is negative, less than twice the price of a shirt, so plus 2y. So I have 2 equations here. Here's my system. 4x plus 3y equals 200. X equals negative 5 plus 2y's. Next, we have Julie and Annie's ages. So Julie's age equals J. Annie's age equals A. So Julie and Annie, so plus, and means plus, add up to, so they equal 32. Now, looking at the next sentence, we have Julie is 4 years older than Annie. So Julie, that's J, is means equals, 4 years older means plus, 4 plus A. There's my system. I write out my system. I have J plus A equals 32. Then J equals 4 plus A. And there's my system. Now for the last one, this is a challenge problem. This is a challenge problem, and I want you to try it. It's very, very tricky, and it's not going to count against you, okay? And we'll check it in class. But moving on, you do have homework 2. There's 2 parts to this. There's this first page, and then there's this second page. So you have 8 problems to do. Things I need you to make sure you do: write the intersection in here and write the number of solutions. And remember, if you're getting if you're getting x equals a number and y equals a number, you have 1 solution. If you're getting a number equals a number, you either have no solutions or infinite solutions, and we will revisit that type of thing fairly soon, so I'm not super worried. But just no solution or infinite solutions. So I think one of these falls along those lines. You have a great day. Thank you guys. Good luck with the homework.